Well, ladies and gentlemen, with the trade war ongoing, Greenland has now entered themselves into the mix. You can see it says they're courting China in a snub to Trump, which might just give Donald Trump the exact political ammunition he needs to secure Greenland for the United States and really for the West in general, because the European NATO countries cannot be happy about this. We know where Greenland is. It's located right in between the United States and Europe. And so, if you're talking about Chinese influence going into Greenland and a potential trade deal that involves the Chinese Arctic control, yeah, this is not good. And this is really a good thing for Trump, because we know the dynamic with Trump coming out and saying that, well, you've got Russian influence, you've got Chinese influence, you've got both of these adversaries trying to manipulate Greenland, trying to buy their way into potential influence within the country. It was all kind of hearsay, although it actually was not hearsay. I mean, there were several instances of both Russia and China doing things and maneuvering, and it got so far as to where China attempted to buy an abandoned military base in Greenland, and Greenland said no, but that was more of a proxy of Denmark. It was really the EU that said no. The EU obviously does not want China to have significant influence over Greenland, but it was always kind of like, well, that's an excuse by Trump. He's a fascist. He just wants to control more land and conquer places. But no, this is real. And now this is an update. April 14th. That was yesterday. There's an ongoing trade war between the United States and China. And now Greenland wants to get in bed with the Chinese, just like Panama did back in 2017. And we saw where that got them. And now Panama is on the verge of losing the canal zone, or the canal zone is probably going to become a proxy, a puppet to the United States. What do you think is going to happen to Greenland now if they want to get in bed with the Chinese? Is it really this doesn't even make any sense for Greenland. The EU doesn't want this either. You're in between Europe and North America, and you're trying to get in bed with the Chinese as a way to snub Trump. And really, it's not even just Trump, it's also the European countries. So this is very interesting, and I think Trump's going to be able to use this and say, I told you so. They're trying to exude influence over Greenland, and we know how important the Arctic is going to be in the future with the situation and the shipping lanes opening up with the ice melt and things like that, with the Northwest Passage and access to different waterways, and the amount of the country of Greenland, a lot of it is within the Arctic Circle. And we know the United States has very little control right now, at least when it comes to territory within the Arctic Circle. Really, it's just the upper tip of Alaska. But you know what? I'm going to go through this because this is interesting. Greenland's foreign minister said that seeking deeper cooperation with China and potentially a free trade agreement. My goodness. Greenland is seeking deeper cooperation with the Chinese when we're trying to acquire Greenland, and we've sent Don Jr. and JD Vance to Greenland, and Trump's made it known that he wants Greenland. And even the EU is going to come out against this on what Greenland is doing. This is not even just a United States thing. You think the EU wants China to be involved in influence within Greenland? I mean, now maybe they'll be soft and they'll be like, well, they can do whatever they want. What about Denmark? So see how crazy, I mean, this is just, it's completely ill-advised, and they're definitely trying to, I mean, this is proving Trump's point. They're like, oh, we told Trump, this is what happens. You've pushed us away, and now we're going to China. You don't have that ability. You don't have that power to do it. You don't even have an army. And so now we've got an excuse to secure Greenland if we wanted to, if this is seriously a thing. About Greenland holding the elections in March, and what happened was the number one party is a party that wants Greenland to separate from Denmark. The party that came in second place also wants to separate from Denmark, but in a faster time frame. So they want to separate from Denmark. They don't really have the money to do it because of the amount of money they take in from Denmark to stay afloat in terms of their GDP. I mean, like a fourth of their GDP comes from Denmark subsidies. So how are you going to replace that if you want to leave and separate from Denmark? But you can see Trump has said the United States needs Greenland for global security reasons. at a time in increasing competition with China. And also now we've got the refinery aspect of the rare earths. We can refine rare earths and set up a refinement zone in Greenland. And the rare earths in Greenland, they're all along the coast. I've talked about it so many times. So it's not even just the security, but the security is also important. But this is insane. So China's going to swoop in to a country located in between North America and Europe. And we've got the most powerful defense treaty in the world, NATO. And they're going to have influence over the Arctic in between the United States and the European powers? Seriously? Newsweek has contacted Greenland government and the U.S. Department for comment. What to know? China is very important to us, and we're eager to strengthen our cooperation. Okay. And so, just reading through this, the growing relationship with China may serve as a counterweight to U.S. mounting interest. No. This would only drive our interest more in Greenland because now we've got an excuse to secure the island. This is what Trump was talking about. They're saying, well, the growing relationship with China may serve as a counterweight to mounting U.S. interest. A modern offer from the U.S. to buy Greenland could... Wow, $2.2 billion. It's going to cost more than that. Well, but Greenland is going to cost more no matter what, whether we buy it or not, because we're going to have to make investments into Greenland. There's going to be a high upfront cost. It's going to be a lot more than $2.2 billion. But that's where the whole thing comes. Well, we can give the citizens money. The United States, they're talking about the rare earth minerals. A ton of rare earth minerals in southern Greenland, really just all over the coastline. And so, listen, this is just insane. Trump saying, we'll get Greenland 100%. Yes. Well, why doesn't Trump really needs to come out? The administration needs to talk about this. This is good. This is good. Tell the American people that tell Europe that China and Greenland are cooperating, and China is going to have, because I saw the rumor on, it was like Polymark or something tweeted. They're like, well, Greenland is offering China a free trade agreement in exchange for Arctic control. What? Seriously? Greenland, with where it's located, is going to be controlled by proxy China? That's not going to happen. That can't happen. See, this is why we're nervous. But see, if liberals were in office, this would probably be happening, and we just have to accept it because that's how soft they are. Trump cannot allow this to happen. And we may have to secure the island. I mean, you know, there's no invasion. There's no army. But I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying this is a reason we're trying. And then you've also got the Chinese. Like, what is this? China issues a new statement after asking Americans to show respect in Trump's tariff policies. Their statement, let those peasants in the United States wail in front of 5,000 years of Chinese civilization. Well, no. China, really, the modern state of China has only been around since, I believe, like 1949, after the Chinese Civil War. And then that created Taiwan as a byproduct. But even if you go back to the Qin dynasty, that was like 2,200 years ago in 200 BC. I don't know where he gets 5,000 years, but they say, we've been around forever. The United States has only been around for a few hundred years. Well, then why are we so much more powerful than you, and you've got a bigger population than us? But why do we have the #1 economy if we've only been around for this short period of time? But this is like a joke. What is this?
是美国最大的贸易顺差地，但美国依然对香港如此加征关税，简直是蛮横霸道、无耻之极。这让世人更加看清，美国见不得香港好，是破坏香港人权自由、法治秩序和繁荣稳定的最大黑手。他不是要我们。
This has got to be a joke. This has got to be a complete joke. But yeah, so there is that. And then another thing I wanted to look at, it's the updated Donald Trump approval numbers. So Donald Trump, you can see this is a +8 poll. I haven't really looked at this in a while. I do want to look at it and see. So it's -3.5, right? And like I said, the amount of stuff in the pipeline for Trump, these are amazing numbers. This is exactly where you want to be if you're Trump. These are really, really good numbers. And you've got Quinnipiac. You know, we know how bad Quinnipiac is. They're really weighing it down with a -12. If you take away that -12, it's a lot better. But yeah, these are phenomenal numbers for Trump being at -3, considering everything that's gone on. Trump not purposefully crashing the economy, but there was some turmoil to be able to bring down the interest rates. I said that was going to happen. And so there's a ton with the economy, but they're like, oh, the economy's bad right now. So yeah, no, there's short-term economic turmoil. I agree. It was caused by the tariffs. I understand. Yes, that's the point. We need the interest rates to come down. We need truflation to come down. It's all coming down. It's all working. And then they say, well, Trump rushed and he's bluffing with all these tariffs. Well, it's this is what happens. It's a tariff war. We didn't know they were going to sell their treasuries. We had to reassess it. What do you want us to do? The point of it is these are good numbers for Trump. These are really good numbers when you consider, a lot of these liberal pollsters, and this is as bad as it's going to get, I'm sure, with Trump's approval rating. It's probably not going to drop. I mean, if you look at the real metrics like right track, wrong track, Trump's got sky high in terms of U.S. is on the right track compared to Trump's first term, compared to Biden, compared to even Obama, if you look back at it. And so you've also got all these issues here. Do I have to go to these issues or whatever, like the economy? Right, no, the economy is going to be down a little bit. Absolutely. It's because of the short-term loss, and people see the stock market, they base it off of it. That's why I say the stock market is important in terms of normie economic health. When normies look at the stock market goes up, they say it's doing well. But I mean, how can you say, like, this is the crazy thing. How is this possible? If you look at truflation metrics, on January 20th, truflation, what was it at, like 2.8%? Now it's 1.4%. So since Trump's taken over, inflation's gone down 50%, according to the most accurate measure on inflation. So see, they need to do a better job of telling people that, but this just doesn't make any sense. How is it -20 on inflation? Inflation's gone down. It's 2 straight months. Even the Fed's favorite inflation metric, which is core inflation, it's come in under the expected twice now. February, March, Trump's first 2 months. So when you see numbers like this, you can't take it seriously. It doesn't make any sense. Immigration, Trump's done a good job on immigration. Quinnipiac has Trump -5 on immigration. Why? Because he's not deporting enough people? Probably. But no, with the Quinnipiac, they oversample Dems. Dems say, well, he's deporting too many. They say, well, there should be at least 4 or 5 million coming in every year. We hate white people. We have all this white guilt. And that's what it is with liberals. And I mean, look at what happened to Europe. But I mean, it's already happening. It's liberalism. It's happening in the United States with or without Trump. Trump is trying to delay it a little bit, at least. He's delaying it to a degree. But we can't even deport these people. We can't even deport illegal immigrants that are connected to terrorist gangs. We're not allowed to. So we're not allowed to deport anyone. I'm being sarcastic, but seriously, that's how ridiculous it is. It's like, if we try and do mass deportations, is it even possible? Or does Trump and the administration just get dragged into legal hell? We should legally be able to deport illegal immigrants. If you're an illegal immigrant and you're here, it's a return to sender. That's what it is. And if the countries don't want to take you back, there's going to be bigger problems because we're 100 times more powerful than any country that any immigrant comes from, outside of like fringe cases. So, I mean, we'll do a return to sender. I mean, what do you want us to do? Trump was elected to get illegals out. Now there's all these cases. It's all this judicial crap with just liberal, unelected judges, just filth, Obama administration, remnants, leftovers who want the country to be destroyed, just stopping all of this. And they're obsessed with democracy. You want to know what democracy looks like? Trump winning every swing state, Trump winning the popular vote, Republicans winning the House, Republicans winning the Senate. This is what democracy looks like. It doesn't look like some judge who clearly has a bias and hates Trump and wants to stop his administration and the American people from enacting what we voted for, deciding to hold up deportation proceedings, because that's what's going on right now. So, look, I'm shocked about this, and then, like, these people are like, oh, this is going to help, like, this is going to force Trump to stay away from Greenland. No, this would cause Trump to take over Greenland. We don't want Chinese influence within Greenland. And then people are like, well, Trump pushed Greenland to China. Look at where Greenland is located. You think any European country is happy that Greenland is getting closer to cooperating with China? This is Panama 2.0. Remember, Trump realizing that the influence that the Chinese had over the canal completely bullied them out. And that's why the CCP got angry, because Hong Kong owned both of those ports. And the CCP is like, we're not going to be bitched around by Trump like this. We're delaying the sale. It was a $23 billion sale of both the ports. And Rubio went in there and said, you need to rip this up or we're going to just invade your country. And they said, all right, we'll rip it up. That was a diplomatic agreement. And then Rubio left, and then Hegseth went in and said, yeah, we might have to invade Panama because we're sick of this control, this Chinese influence after we built the thing, the canal. And so this is the 2.0 version. So listen, this is good for Trump because, you know, this is happening. It is happening. Trump's not making it up. And Greenland wants to cooperate with China now. What does Denmark think of this? Denmark's useless. All these EU countries are just useless when it comes to any of this control by any adversary. But you would think those countries would be on our side. But who knows? Maybe they want the CCP to have control over Greenland over Trump. That's how TDS these European countries are. But honestly, you would think they wouldn't, because we're still in NATO. So you would back our control over Greenland over China. Think about it. If what I was reading was correct, it's a free trade deal where Greenland is offering China Arctic influence. Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid. So listen, we'll have to see what happens. Trump's going to have to come out and just lay the wood and just talk about this or something, because this should be good for Trump if this is true. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.